I'm Staff Sergeant Diaz.
And I'm Sergeant Azeez.
And we're with the Ohio Army National Guard. I kind of wanted to just kind of talk about how we got into the Guard, right? Like what,
Yes.
kind of like your Guard story.
Yes.
Mine was very weird. I just remember in 2010, it was 2010, my senior year in high school, we had this guy in the Army, not National Guard, just active duty Army, come in and talk about the ASVAB test. And I just kept on telling him, oh, you're just here to make us join the Army. I was like very against it, and he was there to talk about the test, this test that you take to join the Guard. I never thought about the military. I ended up doing JROTC. My coach put it in my schedule in high school, whatever. I think 3 years later, I got a job as a security officer in downtown Cleveland. And it was a third shift job. It was 11 o'clock p.m. till 7 in the morning. And my coworker to my left was actually studying for his final exam to become a police officer. I think it was Columbus. Nope, not Columbus. It was what's that school in Cleveland? Tri-C? Cuyahoga Community College, Tri-C.
Yeah.
So he was studying there, and then another girl was at Cleveland State, getting her bachelor's degree and studying it right there. And I'm just sitting here, doing nothing, and I'm $10,000 in debt. So later in my shift, I went and Googled all the military branches, and I found for myself the National Guard just provided the most educational benefits.
Yeah.
I read 100% tuition. I was like, what?
You got sold.
All of it? And it's there's little things it's 100% tuition only though. So if you want to live on campus, that's on you. But if you want to just go to school for free, we'll pay for it. And I'm so I applied, and I was the recruiter's unicorn. I had no issues with me. I had a high school diploma. I wanted to join. I wanted those benefits, and he gave me this online electronic application. I know I filled some stuff out with him, but I typed everything up, and then I was a week later, I was raising my hand. I was a horizontal construction engineer. I was a glorified construction worker. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how I got into the Guard.
See, my story is kind of similar. So I was at Bowling Green State University, and my friend, well, let me back up a second. So growing up, I always wanted to be a soldier. That was my thing. I would wear camouflage like it was nobody's business. And all of that went out the window. I went on to go study at Bowling Green State University, and I was talking to my friend, and he's like, hey, my brother is in the National Guard. They're paying for school. And he was planning on joining the National Guard.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how I got to know what the National Guard was. And I wasn't so focused on the money for college.
Right.
I was just kind of you could be a soldier, but only part-time. And that kind of just fit perfectly with my life.
Right,
that
yeah.
gave me the opportunity, hey, being full-time soldier didn't fit into my schedule right now, but being a part-time soldier fit into my schedule. And you had the additional benefits, but I was just so focused on yes, I can be a soldier, and I was so excited.
Yeah.
I remember when I went to my recruiter's office, I don't remember sitting down and talking to him about what the National Guard is, or him telling me what the benefits was.
Right.
I just remember filling out the application day one, first time I'm meeting my recruiter, and I was there, what do you need from me? You need my ID, you need my this.
Right.
And all of that. When I left my recruiter's office, he was just filling out the application in his system, doing his part, because everything was already completed on my part once I left that first initial appointment. Just very different. Everyone's process is going to be different, but mine and yours was very similar.
Right. I honestly, and you brought up a good point about the part-time service.
Yes.
That was huge to me. Right now, we're recruiters. We find civilians in Ohio, and we get them in the Guard. And one of the stories, or one of the questions I always get is, are you guys Army? Are you guys the U.S. Army? And I'm like, yes, we are part of the United States Army. And they always say, well, what are they doing that's different than you? I'm like, and then this is where I break it down where it's more relatable to them, because ultimately they want to serve, but how do they want to serve? And I always tell them, if you want a full-time job, you want to leave Ohio, go active duty.
Yes.
I'm like, that's it. Sometimes that's going to fit you better. But if you love where you're from, you want to stay in Ohio, you want to grow in Ohio, develop your career in Ohio. If you're just an Ohio brat, just joining the National Guard in Ohio is good, because you serve with those that you live with, and you train with those that you live with.
Yes.
I remember when I came back from my initial training, one of the people in my unit, his job was hiring, and I asked him, hey, what is it? And he told me what it was, and boom, instantly I'm making $14 an hour coming back from training because I knew somebody in the guard that had connections.
Yes.
So, and obviously, going back to my active duty thing, where if you want a full-time job, go active duty.
Yes.
If you want to serve part-time state Ohio, go in the guard.
Yes.
If you want to study and go to school, join the guard. Like that's,
Yes.
if there's just 100% tuition, like that was always
Yes.
my thing. I couldn't believe it. And
There's no competition.
Yeah,
But
really?
education benefits, the guard provide the best benefits, is just right there in your face.
Well, hey, thanks for watching our video. I'm Sergeant Diaz.
And I'm Sergeant Azeez.
We're your Ohio Army National Guard recruiters. Have a great guard day.
Go guard.
Go guard.